The Wonder Woman 1984 trailer has arrived. The Birds of Prey... God. The Birds of Prey. I don't know.
Or the Birds of Prey, like, are you being served a fine dining adventure? There's Quill, some cornichon.
I'm a little pleased because this means I think that was funny enough to leave it in, so I'm not going to edit any of that out. The Birds of Prey promotional machine is heating up, and DC Universe releases a Stargirl teaser before deleting it and releasing a shorter Stargirl teaser. All that and so damn much more. But first, I'm David C. Robertson. This is my trusty co-host, Jason Goss.
Hello.
And we are DC On Screen. This is the podcast where we discuss the DC Comics multiverse on film and television, give honest opinions on projects upcoming and past, and believe that every version of a property is valid, even if we do not want it to be. If it's been released, it is fair game, so beware of spoilers, and welcome to the show.
I'm still thinking of the tray of birds and fair game now. But, okay, yeah.
Oh, damn it. Pheasant!
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, we'll put a pin in that.
All right. If
we got a lot of stuff to cover.
Yeah, we do. If you are a Patreon supporter, you've got a little treat coming up. We just recorded our reaction to the Ghostbusters Afterlife, both the US and the international version trailers. I won't even say how we felt about it. Just there you go. And if you want to hear that, you're gonna have to go to Patreon and throw us $5. Because
yeah, if you know us, you probably know how we feel about it.
Yeah, you probably see two sad lumps masturbating in a corner somewhere.
Obviously.
Patreon.com/DC on screen.
Two wilted potatoes dreaming of better days.
Oh, no, I'm sad. All right.
No, spoilers. We enjoyed the trailers. Go check it out.
Yeah, it's a fun conversation.
Yeah.
Over to Apple Podcasts. We are trying to get to 100 ratings. I'm not even saying ratings and reviews, just 100 ratings by the end of the year. We are at 82 right now. So please go give us a rating and a review. Chicken Chaser leaves us a 5-star review and
That's a good name.
Yeah, I know. Says, Merry Christmas, here's my review. Finally. I have been listening to DC On Screen for quite a while, was looking for something to get news on BVS. You guys have been with us for a long time.
It has been a while, yeah.
Dave and Jason hit all of the important topics and even some of the non-important ones. Just kidding. But outside of the podcast, they are also very engaged with their fans, even posted a topic about which Superman is your Superman, and then went through and talked about a lot of the posts, which was pretty cool. So if you are looking for a great DC news source with a bit of mirth and friendly hosts, this one is the one for you. Thank you, man. Or lady.
Yeah. I don't know what gender is chasing that chicken.
Yeah, I'm just...
But I do appreciate it, and he or she is right. We will totally geek out with you in general.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got an interesting question here. This is an example of how activities on unrelated apps may wind up causing some interesting crossover. Tom Barnes messaged me and says, "Saw on your Goodreads."
Oh,
yeah. That you've been reading Superfans by Pat Flynn. In Chapter 11, Flynn instructs us to give your fans a name, like Trekkie or Trekkers, but I have never heard you or Jason refer to your fans as anything really. Are you planning on giving us DC On Screen listeners a fun name? It's been like almost 5 years, and I think we may have discussed what we might call our fans at some point, our listeners. I don't like the word fans. But because I can't.
I would go with listeners more.
Yeah, I can't bring myself to feel like I have a fan.
No, that feels weird. But
it does feel weird.
But listeners, I can get behind. And no, I don't have a good term. Do you have a good term?
The only thing I think we've ever said was on screeners.
Yeah, DC on screeners. I think we've used flippantly at times.
And I don't think we don't have to stick with something about our name. Like what is that guy? That guy that we both listened to and you listen to a lot more, Cummins.
Dan Cummins?
Yeah, what does he call his people? Lizard people?
No, there's the Space Lizard group of
Oh yeah.
actual Patreon supporters, and then there's the general cult of the curious, as he calls it.
Oh, okay.
The overall listeners.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
He's got
his
good
show,
branding on that show.
Yeah, his show is called Time Suck, so it doesn't really have anything to do with the name of the show.
No,
And
nothing there.
my
Has more to
favorite
do with the
example. My favorite example is this kid named Danny Gonzalez on YouTube, and he sort of flippantly called his fan base Greg.
Nice.
So in his shows, he's just always like, "What's up, Greg? Let's do this." And
like the arbitrary nature of it. That's
and
pretty
he's
sweet.
got T-shirts that say "I am Greg."
That's good.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I'm somewhat tempted to just say, like, we will call our fan base Tim, in homage to Monty Python and the Holy Grail. But that also
we
seems
couldn't
to
pick like a name from DC because it'd show some favoritism that we
Right.
It wouldn't make sense for us. We kind of love a lot of these things. We couldn't even pick a thing that's tangentially Marvel because we love a lot of Marvels as well.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't want to do that. No.
It kind of doesn't make sense for us to name check something. We just kind of have to come up with something out of the blue.
Yeah, I mean, should we like have people write in and tell us what they think, or should we come up with like, I don't know, 5 or 6 names and have people on our Facebook group and Twitter vote? What do you think?
That's a tough call. Hey, if anybody writes in, we'll just call that part of the voting. How about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, we'll tally it up some way, but
Yeah.
let us know what you want to be called. That's what I'm going to do if I ever have kids. I'm just going to call it until it gets to a certain age and be like, what do you want to be called?
It seems silly, but I do that though. Legally was not allowed to do that with my child, or otherwise I probably would have employed that method.
Right.
I do that with pets. Anytime I've had a dog well, I've only ever owned dogs, but anytime I've had dogs, I literally they're just dog until I feel like they've in some way told me their name. Guitars, the same way. I kind of let the guitar describe to me what I think its name should be in a way.
Right.
I don't know. It just feels right. It clicks. And cars, the same thing, except inexplicably, the car I'm currently driving, 2012 Altima, has never told me what its name is. So it's just called my car. So I don't know. Either I'm losing my creative focus, or that car's just fucking obstinate. I don't know.
Right.
I lean towards the latter. I've had nicknames for the other cars, and every guitar I own has a name.
Yeah. My wife does that. My wife names every inanimate object she can think of that has any relevance in her life.
It seems to really just be those things.
But she
I have categories, I guess.
I got an iPad, and she asked me last night what I was going to name it, and I was like, it never even occurred to me.
It's called my iPad.
I mean, my computer's name is Prometheus, but
naturally.
I don't know. And then just like as I was talking to you just now, suddenly I realized what I should have said and what my iPad's name will now be. Maxie.
Nice. Or just Max. And somebody says later, like, oh, yeah, the last of it's iPad. So Max iPad.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I wouldn't have come up with that on my own. Not completely. Yeah, the Max iPad. That's good. Yeah.
It takes some banging around. I don't know. There's the good names happen organically to some extent to me. So to that point.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Post links to the Facebook and whatever, and y'all can go and become part of the group, and we'll talk about what we want to be called, and it'll be a whole thing. Thanks for writing in. What was it, Tom? Yeah, Tom. I became very paranoid that it wasn't Tom. It was something like Brian.
Oh yeah, no. The idea of naming in your brain had gone into some other place, and you were like, I don't know what's going on anymore.
All right.
The only proposal I have is D-Citizens.
Yeah, but that's not really linked to us.
Yeah, that's my point.
The citizens. I can see it. All right, you want to get to the actual news?
Yes, please.
All right, let's get to Joker's latest numbers. It's still around, so we're gonna talk about the numbers.
Good God. It
is sitting at 1,055,712,814. That's it worldwide. Domestic, we're talking about 332,112,814. So It has passed BVS, the domestic box office. It has passed Aladdin in the international box office.
Nice.
It is the 6th highest grossing movie of the year. Now, it was announced that starting Friday on the 6th, December 6th, which, we're well past that, Joker is going back to IMAX screens. So you still have, by the time this drops, you'll have 2 days to go check that out for the last time. For anyone who cares, it's been nominated for 4 Golden Globe nominations. Best Picture, Drama, Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Best Director, Best Original Score.
All the top tier ones.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Got 7 total nominations for the Critics' Choice Awards. Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Cinematography, Best Production Design, Best Hair and Makeup, and Best Score. We don't know what it's going to get for Academy Awards. I don't care anything about awards. I know a lot of people do, and I know it matters in the industry, so there you go. There's that news bit, and good Lord, people are loving on this movie.
Yeah, I would like it if it came across with a couple of them, just because it matters in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, personally, no, it's done it. It's made its mark.
Yeah, absolutely. Home video release. We've got December 17th in digital, and DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K comes January 7th.
Yeah, I saw the digital. Just because on a whim, I was at a stoplight and was like, when can I buy this?
Yeah, that makes me mad that it's going to wait until January 7th. Because...
See, I don't even want physical copies anymore. It's just media I have to keep up with.
I like keeping up with it. I like displaying it. I want it in my home, and I want it in time for Christmas.
I get it. I'm that way with books. If I read something, I want it to be on a shelf so I can go back to it and be like, no, I know. Because I also, when I read stuff, I remember where stuff is in the book.
Mm-hmm.
I will literally look at the left or the right of the page because I remember it being there.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I want to experience the book. For movies, I don't have that same experience.
Well,
I can just watch the thing, and I want to have access to it, but I don't necessarily need it that way.
Well, I want the Blu-ray.
It's not tangible.
I want the 4K Blu-ray. So I just had to put it on my Amazon wish list and hope that someone gets it for me for Easter.
Nice.
So I can, celebrate the resurrection of my Lord and Savior with a psychopathic clown.
Of course. Whom he would forgive.
Whom he would forgive, yeah. The Wonder Woman 1984 trailer. You just go ahead and talk about that?
We're going right into forgiving characters. Wonder Woman 1984 trailer. Going into magnanimous peoples.
We've got Maxwell Lord. Welcome to the future. Life is good, but it could be better, and why not? All you have to do is want it. Think about having everything you've ever wanted, and we've got him.
So 80s as a message.
Absolutely, and he's looking like freaking Trump.
Oh yeah, it's got a very Trump vibe.
And also, to be completely fair, he's looking like Maxwell Lord.
Yeah. Like a true Maxwell, he's even got the haircut from... Yeah. It's...
So, okay. This trailer looks awesome, but here's the thing.
What's your big butt?
Okay, I wasn't going to go into my big butt. I know it sounded like that for a second, but I will go ahead into my big butt if that's what you want.
Sounded like what you're leaning to, so let's do that.
Yeah.
We'll work backwards.
Eventually. Love the music. I was actually, I was not aware of Blue Monday. I didn't, somehow, I love 80s music. I don't know how that slipped by me.
Oh, it's a good song.
It's one of the few 80s songs I've heard you say yay to.
Yeah, a lot of it's like Cure, Talking Heads, and then random songs that I actually liked. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the random songs I actually like category. Also, I think Orgy and our youths did a cover of Blue Monday that brought my attention to it, and then I went back and listened to the original. Like, oh yeah, no, the original's better. Mm-hmm. You did like a neo pop version of it. Thank you for telling me this song exists. I will do the original. I appreciate you very much.
Yeah.
Here's your I'll stamp your card. Here's one free blah blah blah, and out the door.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll go ahead and hit the butts.
Yeah, hit the butts.
All right. And this is a butt I've talked about before. It was a butt, definitely a butt in the first Wonder Woman movie. I was afraid it was going to be a butt here, and it looks like it is. The whimsically slap happy villain, like the villain who is just so utterly evil and so self-aware and happy to be evil. The
Well,
non-conflicted villain.
I would argue that you didn't get there until the last 15 minutes of the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't necessarily know we're going there right now.
Well, it looks like we're definitely going there with Maxwell Lord, who's basically it's weird because I feel like between Cheetah and Maxwell Lord, they are two different parts of the Jim Carrey Riddler from Batman Forever. Because
is Cheetah more the Jim Carrey Riddler, or is she more the Iron Man 3 what's his name?
They're the same character to me. They're Jamie Foxx as Electro. They are Aldrich Killian in Iron Man 3.
That's his name. Yes.
Yeah. They're Edward Nygma in Batman Forever. Like the nerdy, repressed, I never get anything that I want.
Blah, blah, blah,
I'm not who I want to be.
The
character
Black Swan kind of thing.
Who befriends or looks up to the hero and then tries to destroy them later. When they get all cool, I've seen a lot of people bring up Michelle Pfeiffer in Batman Returns. That'll also work, especially with the cheetah motif. But at the same, I'm still just going
as a trope. I get it.
I hate that.
Kind of also want to kind of trust Kristen Wiig a little bit.
I want to like Kristen Wiig. I want to like what she's doing. I know she's got the chops. I know she can pull it off. I even laughed at her little line about how she falls in love over and over again.
Yeah. Oh, dude, on screen, she's compelling as hell.
She is.
But
I have no immediate issue with her per se. Just like I don't blame Jim Carrey for what happened in Batman Forever. I don't blame Jamie Foxx for what happened in Amazing Spider-Man 2. I don't blame any of these people for what happened.
But just to some extent, those were... And she is also an experienced actor who should know better to some extent when their role is being taken in a certain direction. Mm-hmm. But there are moments where Jamie Foxx and Jim Carrey faltered in their role choices. Kristen Wiig, I feel like, has been less a party to that. I feel like she's been more responsible in what she wants to do. And that lends me a little bit of, I'm giving her a little bit of leash. Based on that,
I give her no leash. Everyone's open to failure, and
completely.
I wouldn't even say Jim Carrey's choice was a failure. He made a shit ton of money doing Batman Forever, and he was beloved for it. Like Batman Forever was not the problem. Batman and Robin was. Everyone cites Batman and Robin as having the bat nipples. No one remembers that Batman Forever had the shit. Batman Forever had bat nipples. No one remembers that.
No, it just focused on them later.
Everyone complains that Tommy Lee Jones was trying to be the Joker or something, and I'm like. Yeah,
no,
but Jim Carrey was silly as shit. He didn't even know
what he was trying to be.
He was just trying to make his kids happy is what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
But no, I am a little concerned about that. I've seen some of the design art and stuff, and there's been some talk that Cheetah will eventually become like full-blown Cheetah.
I hope she does.
Because all we're seeing so far is her in the Cheetah jacket and skirt and stuff. Like we haven't really seen her like actually become a cheetah. Now I don't
genuinely like one of my only problems with the trailer, and it's not really a problem. I should say, is that it really doesn't give you a lot about the story yet.
No,
it shows you some of the pieces, but we don't know where they are on the board.
Like we've got Maxwell Lord. It looks like he is psychically projecting through that giant transmitter. And maybe he is magically imbued with what I would assume Cheetah has obtained for him, a crystal.
It also looked like It also kind of looks like she's one of those people who might obtain this on her own sidebar. And with Cheetah, traditionally, hasn't it been that once she gets that power kind of half accidentally and stumbles into it?
I think she was cursed in the comics.
See, I've seen that, and I've also seen her being like Indiana Jones gone feline.
Well, that too, but yeah, I think there was an element of she was. His comics. There's so many different versions.
Yeah, especially for kind of a B character in a lot of ways, like Cheetah.
Yeah, I mean,
who, by the way, Snyder at this point is playing as an A character. Like there's a lot to do there.
Who is?
Scott Snyder in the actual comics in Justice League, the Doom Wars right now.
I mean, she's strong. That's why Wonder Woman needs that armor, man. It's because Cheetah can actually rip through Wonder Woman's flesh.
Oh yeah, no, she's kind of the epitome of the Predator in a lot of ways.
So if this crystal is giving everybody their desires, I'm assuming that's how Chris Pine comes back.
Yeah, it's a good supposition. Because it seems like she wants him to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And he seems to be experiencing things as almost like an imaginary best friend kind of thing. Except the one moment in the trailer where he actually punches a guy.
Yeah, he's actively punching people.
Yeah.
What I enjoy about this trailer, though, is like everything else. Like, literally everything else. I love that Steve Trevor is, like, experiencing the world in the place that she was in the first movie.
That he's brought into it.
He's
like,
the fish out of
everything is
water
art.
here.
Oh, that's just a garbage can.
That's just a garbage can. Oh, yeah.
My favorite part of this entire trailer, it's a stupid moment, and it made me laugh in a way that I'm
Tiara?
not sure I'm supposed to laugh at. Nope.
Oh.
It was when he hands over his watch to her, and I'm like, oh, that's one of those stupid fucking early version digital watches.
Uh-huh.
When I was a kid.
That's funny.
Like, it's the kind of thing now that you wouldn't even see in like an antique watch dealership.
That's funny.
To me, it has like a Hitchhiker's Guide, like a Douglas Adams feel to it. Like, oh, at first they all wanted digital watches, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even think about that. That's funny. I just saw her throw the tiara and I just laughed. It was just like, I know I should feel like that's stupid, but I don't. No. I'm just like, yay!
No, I'm good with that.
Everything I've seen, man, it looks
all
like
of her action scenes were fantastic.
I saw someone point out it looks like she was just like grappling the sky. And this was before the part where she's like riding lightning.
Mm-hmm.
And someone pointed that out and we're like, what is she grabbing hold of here? And then someone else was like, the invisible jet, dumbass. I was like, oh, it is.
That's good.
And then it made me wonder if she and Chris Pine are in the invisible jet when they're like flying through those like fireworks or whatever it is.
Nice.
Yeah, man. It looks a lot of fun at the very least. Despite my issues with the villains, and the reason I said they were broken up into Jim Carrey from Batman Forever is because if you'll recall in Batman Forever, Jim Carrey or the Riddler had a device that let him beam virtual signals into everybody's brains to show them what they wanted to see or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just like they just split up those two. Or they split up those two sides of the Carey coin. Wait, the coin was Two-Faced. Never mind.
Yeah. No, the Riddler, Two-Face, the coin with an enigma. Wait.
Yeah.
No, what just happened here?
With a bit of Pfeiffer.
Yeah. And a cat broke the Gordian knot, and now we're into Watchmen, and oh my God, what's happened?
But the Golden Eagle costume. We got the Golden Eagle costume with the wings and the helmet. And
goddamn right we did. And some serious... This isn't a thing that requires supposition. Like some serious 1980s effects that were super nostalgic and fun to watch in a way.
Absolutely.
And they also kind of refined them. Like they gave them an HD version of it.
Mm-hmm. Everything with the freaking lasso, the lasso of truth just looks fantastic.
By the way, the lasso being able to do that trick where she's using it as like a pummel. Oh God, so good.
And like I said earlier, she's riding freaking lightning. Her father's Zeus. Why the hell couldn't she do that?
Well, it's one of her. They're all her parents in a way.
And I had to retweet this. I had someone wrote. So someone took found the gif of her like lassoing the lightning, and retweeted that and said Donna Troy can't relate.
Oh fuck yes.
Oh my gosh, that was fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic. All right, so they excuse me. I saw a number of people
fan phlegm out of your
I've been sick the last couple days.
Out of your chest.
Yeah, not just fan phlegm, just phlegm.
No, it's the weight of all the amazing geeking things that have happened just weighing on your soul and lungs.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Like the pluralism of DC's on-screen capabilities right now.
Do you think I could sue for that?
Oh God, no, you're fine.
Okay.
They'll never win. They'll bury you in court.
Right.
Hell, they'll turn on you. You'll be in prison by the time it's over.
DC gave me smoker's cough.
Yeah. The other day, I hooked up phlegm in the shower and it was Batman shaped.
It was tar, but in a Batman shape. All right, so I'm pretty excited about Wonder Woman 1984. It looks pretty great. I've seen some people saying that they're just ripping off Ragnarok, and to those people, I say I would like to make you some soup and stir it with a used butt plug.
I get it. I get the sentiment being like, oh my God, they ripped off this one thing somebody did. There's so many fucking things that people are doing by so many directors and creators.
Yeah, I mean, are we going to say, I mean,
genuinely, when I saw the 1984 effects pulling out, my first thought was Taika Waititi.
You know what my first thoughts were?
I don't hold that against it. I just thought like, oh yeah, no, that's really fun. We're playing with some themes. Like
they have it multicolored. They have it neon and multicolored like the 80s, but those credits like flying in like that, that's straight Donner Superman.
Oh yeah, you're right, it is. God damn, it's been so long. But yeah, you're right.
Oh my gosh, this scene where she like ejects the bullet in slow motion and like hits it with her bracelet.
Yeah, that was so good.
Oh my gosh, that was great.
She's using some of the moves she used before, like that sliding across the floor thing where she like does the slide thing and kicks up afterwards.
Yeah, apparently Wonder Woman, she kind of missed her calling as a great baseball player.
Oh God, yes. Brett Butler would have had nothing on her.
It's the original Sultan of Swing, ladies and gentlemen.
I feel like you don't know that reference. He played for the Royals, and that fucker could slide.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe your parents were watching sports, and you were just forced to be in the room because it would have been around that time. It was like 1990.
I know the Sultan of Swing, man.
Is that the Sultan of Swing? Brett Butler?
No, absolutely not.
I was about to say. I think my histories. I was about to get an MRI. That's what I was.
Babe Ruth was the Sultan of Swing.
That's what I thought. But you said it the second time, and I was like, maybe am I dying?
Yeah, I'm talking about Wonder Woman being the Sultan of Swing, not other person.
No, that dude was just really good at sliding. He had a special. Him and Ricky Henderson had a gift for like the moment they hit the base, they would go from completely horizontal to completely vertical. It was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. The sliding capability was amazing.
Yeah, you know what this conversation has become like when I'm at work and people are like joking around, making like kind of inappropriate jokes, and like you make a crack along with them, and then all of a sudden they're talking about like their deep-rooted fetishes, and you're just like, holy shit, I need to get the hell out of this conversation right now.
It was just some sliding technique. You're okay. You're safe.
That's what they said.
It's like you're safe, and then I love that apparently in that context you pulled out like the one baseball reference you know.
Uh-huh.
All right. I'm going to move on. But it was still funny for me.
Yeah, it was funny for me too, to an extent. And also hurtful to another extent.
We'll let you get back to places where we're both more comfortable.
Yeah. All right, so Patty Jenkins has confirmed that WB is developing a movie focused on the Amazons.
Good.
She's not going to direct, but she will be an executive producer. That is in development.
I mean, I really like her as a director, but like let somebody play in your camp, build that world. Let's do this.
Let's do $50 million. Don't consider it a superhero movie. Just kind of throw it out. It can come out the same year as that, Aquaman spinoff, whatever the hell that was. The Reach? Is that what that was called?
Yeah, The Reach, I think, is what they're reaching for right now.
Yeah.
I would also happily watch like a Hippolyta or an Auntie, what's her name? I'm just blanking out right now.
Me too.
It's gonna hurt me.
I thought Shandor, and then I went, nope, that's the Ghostbusters.
There are people yelling at us. There are people literally Antiope?
No, Antiope.
Antiope?
Yes.
I got all the letters right, but not the pronunciation.
Yeah.
I would totally watch her movie. It took us a minute to get there, but I'm in.
I think an Antiope was something I saw mating on the Discovery Channel once.
That's an antelope without the back legs.
Yeah, it's an Antiope.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you have to hop. Anyway.
It's an Antiope would just be a creature who refuses to be photographed. It's just anti-op.
Anti-photo op?
Yes.
Okay.
That's stupid.
But
it
really
amused me. Because I want to relate to it.
Uh-huh. All right. Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins are teasing plans for Wonder Woman 3. Gadot said, watching the movie now, I'm just so happy and so grateful that it was all worth it and that we used this amazing opportunity that we got to tell the Wonder Woman story once again, and we've done it in a whole new way of its own. It's a different chapter. And then Jenkins says, we actually already know the story to Wonder Woman 3. It's just a matter of will we change our minds and when to make it. I think what we don't want to do is do it back to back. It's been great doing these two movies back to back, but I think it's important to give a little rest in between, and I like doing other things in between. And Gal has other things to do. I never want to make decisions too far in advance. We have to see if we both feel like making the movie we think we want to make when the moment comes. That sounds like they don't know if this is going to be a hit quite yet, and they haven't had those conversations with Warner Brothers quite yet.
Honestly, to me, it sounded like they thought it was probably going to play out for them on this movie, and they just weren't sure where the universe was landing yet.
Yeah, I think that too. Yeah.
Either way, I like the idea of just taking a breather as creators.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm all right with that. All right, you want to talk about Birds of Prey?
Hit it.
Well, originally I didn't have a lot of Birds of Prey, but then stuff happened. They had the CCXP in Brazil. A lot of news came out of that. Apparently there was a trailer and some footage for Birds of Prey that got shown. And Humberto Gonzalez was there, and he says they just showed Black Mask's actual mask in the special CCXP 19 Birds of Prey trailer. It is comic accurate.
Nice.
So everybody calm your shit. Take a
I
big old fan.
happy with either a mask or kind of semi-traditionally an actual mask that's part of his face now.
Mm-hmm. Everyone just take a big old fan, direct it solely at your titties. Cool them off.
You can buy those for about $3 a pop with the mist function on Amazon.
Because they've been releasing all these new posters for Birds of Prey, and they're very heavily, they're parodying Botticelli's The Birth of Venus.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Harley standing in a clamshell, and then you've got Bernie the Beaver over here, and you've got everybody, and then they have individual posters of everyone, and Black Mask still doesn't have his black mask on, and people are just like, why is he wearing pajamas instead of a... Shut up. Gosh.
Calm down.
Whiners.
Calm down. Sorry if you're a whiner. Just
I'm not
let
sorry.
it breathe.
I'm not sorry. It is 2019. Damn near 2020. We have been watching these movies. I mean, what, since 1979? Since before most of us were born.
Yeah, and also our mantra as DC on Screen has become, our title might as well be DC on Screen, : give it a fucking minute.
Something like that, yes. I understand you want comic book accuracy, but at the same time, comic books don't have comic book accuracy. At some point, you just have to take a breath and move the hell on.
No,
either it or don't. Quit attacking the people involved in it.
No, the idea of accuracy is a little bit absurd in a way. Just given the premise of what we're all dealing with.
For God's sake, stop attacking people who enjoy what they're seeing.
Yeah, that's it. There's an instinct we've been dealing with for years. Even if you didn't enjoy it, just fucking let everyone else who did just have that moment.
Yeah.
You're not gonna correct their behavior or something. Best case scenario, you bring them down too.
Yeah. It's just a bummer to see.
Just let it be. If you didn't enjoy it, I'm sorry. And feel free to discuss your opinions as far as they are, something you can express and we can talk about. But at the same end, we almost always premise our opinions look, it's especially if we didn't enjoy something. We normally say look, if you enjoyed it, good for you, and tell me why, but we didn't enjoy it for these reasons.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So they did show the opening scene of Birds of Prey at the CCXP.
Yes.
We got the Wrap shared this little description. In the CCXP exclusive footage, Harley Quinn explains her current relationship status. She recently kicked the Joker to the curb while she goes on to burn a lot of bridges in service of reinventing herself in Gotham City. We broke up, she narrates. Mr. J was super broke up about it. But Harley continues, she's got an amazing new place that was all mine, where she has, quote, the space to reflect on the mistakes of my past. But this freed her up to become, quote, a new me, she says, and soon enough I was back on my feet, ready to make new friends. And while Harley talks up her fresh start, we see her trademark pet hyenas, and we see a scene with her on roller skates, and she knocks some people down. She says this is the time for Gotham to meet the new Harley Quinn. She she steals an 18-wheeler and crashes it into Ace Chemicals, the plant that gave her and the Joker their skin issues and hair.
Yeah.
And the plant blows up. She says it was the closure I needed. And we see a massive Joker green explosion while she walks toward the frame, and that was it. I'm down for all of that.
I like the direction that, the subtitle involves her emancipation. I like the idea that she's not just going to be an agent of chaos like Joker. She's going to find a direction, which would be different from him in a very specific way.
Yeah, I
like
would never
finding a thing to do for the Joker would be antithetical to the Joker.
I mean, he has short-term plans.
Yeah, short-term plans, I think. But like finding a life purpose.
Yeah.
Finding a
maybe.
Other than to be chaos is kind of antithetical to me. His whole thing is just, I'm going to unravel what you think is a plan.
Mm-hmm. With my own intricate plan.
Have one. Yeah. Like, for her to actually have one. Like, she's the dog chasing cars and she knows what to do when she fights when she gets the car.
Yeah.
I like it. I like that as a possibility for her. And it makes sense, comic-wise. It is, God forbid I use the phrase after what we just said. It is comic accurate.
Yeah. Except Harley doesn't come from the comics. She comes from Batman the Animated Series.
I know. I was waiting for you to do that.
Is it Dini accurate? It doesn't matter, man.
It's kind of both accurate, for being honest.
All right, Margot Robbie's been doing a ton of press. She was talking a little bit about how Birds of Prey connects to Harley Quinn and Suicide Squad. She says, I think something I explored a lot in Suicide Squad, the first film, was Harley's codependence with the Joker. And obviously he has a huge influence on her. But obviously she was very much in a relationship with him when we first saw Harley on screen in Suicide Squad. And I did want to explore what is the version of Harley out of a relationship, and whether she's out of a relationship on her own accord or he's kind of kicked her to the curb. And it still affects her, but in a very different way. And I thought we'd see a very different facet of her personalities, I would say, because I think she has multiple. And
I mean, even in this continuity, she still starts as a legitimate professor or therapeutic clinician of some kind. She's a PhD. Or MD. I'm not actually sure. I don't know if she can prescribe or if she's... I don't know if she's a psychiatrist or a psychologist. But
and I, for this next bit, I can actually try to do my my best Rush Limbaugh impersonation.
This will be fun.
Yeah.
I want to settle back for it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm ready.
All right. Here we go. I'm going to try it. I'm going to give it a shot. As you'll recall, listeners of this program, in a past episode, The Birds of Unreliable Narration, I stated that Harley Quinn was going to be an unreliable narrator in the Birds of Prey movie, and now we have Margot Robbie, pinko liberal commie, herself explaining that Margot Robbie.
This is pretty spot on.
I know. Now, Harley Quinn is going to be an unreliable narrator. Margot Robbie is saying. She says a very unreliable.
I like the papers ruffling.
Right?
But having grown up in an environment where I watched the Rush Limbaugh show, where he had like a crackling fire in the background, I kind of wanted those sounds.
Yeah.
And I also couldn't hear you tipping hydrocodone into your mouth while you were doing that prescription. Or while you were doing that imitation.
Right. Anyway, she says Harley is the narrator of the story, a very unreliable, erratic narrator, which is fun, but it also gives, I think, the audience an opportunity to kind of be inside her brain sometimes and see the world through her eyes at times. But really it's about, I guess you'll wait and see how well she does or does not get along with the Birds of Prey in the end. But ultimately, I think she is not a traditional member of the Birds of Prey. And yet, it's so hard to talk about this. We were talking about it a few weeks ago. She is an unreliable narrator, so everyone should just calm down about the tonality of the movie. Good gosh. And I don't care if it wasn't unreliable.
Let this one sit. Let it ferment. Drink it later.
Now, they
add some hops if it's not quite there for you.
Comicbook.com got to go to the set and talk to a few people and check out what was going on. And Brandon Davis reported that he says this movie is going to be rated R. Sure, there's a chance that the scene filmed on this particular day would be edited down to have less language that goes beyond the PG-13 barrier, but the use of 16 F words in one 3-minute sequence suggests it would be quite difficult to make the moment friendly for the entire family. And, you know, she just talks about how it was nice to have the freedom to go there, and she had to censor herself a lot for the PG rating on Suicide Squad.
I get it. I like the idea that there's an editor who knows he or she was going to be in charge of this property, trying to pin it down to a PG-13 versus R, and went into what I can only describe pre-therapy. Being like, yeah, no, I've just seen the cuts for a couple days, and I'm just going to go ahead and sign up to talk to somebody, because this is going to be fucking awful. Stressful AF.
Yeah, and Kathy Yan talked a little bit about casting the characters. She says, we saw everyone. We had them do chemistry reads, and both Journey and Mary, talking about Black Canary and Huntress.
Sure.
Just gave such depth to their characters. I think that's what was really compelling about them immediately from the get-go. There's such personality to them. When I cast, I'm always looking to find a similar soul in the actors as well as the characters that they play. So I think with Journey, I mean, she's just so intelligent and deep and grounded, and she manages to be both very soft but also really street smart and tough, which was very much Canary. And then I think with Huntress had such an amazing backstory in the psychology of someone who frankly is a little bit, has potentially PTSD and, reeling from all that. And Mary was able to really understand that and bring the depth to it so that she became a real character and not just like a badass.
Love it.
She also says, I've been a big fan of Rosie Perez for many years, and I think for me, when I first read the script, I always sort of imagined a bit of a more mature Renee as like a nice balance with the other women. I've always described this group as a motley crew. They don't look like the typical girl gang, and I like that. I like that they come together kind of unconventionally and randomly, and so, with Rosie, I mean, she just brings such strength to the role and such personality as well, and she's awesome.
I want her role to some extent to be like, oh, you think you've seen some shit. Let me describe a day on the beat in my life.
And Margot Robbie says everyone's got their own rule of ethics that they abide by, and they kind of conflict with each other, which is always interesting in an ensemble. I'm just getting more excited about this movie, honestly.
Oh, it's good. It has a lot of the promise that the original Suicide Squad did, and hopefully with more commitment to the director just doing their thing.
And like Margot Robbie read a bunch of comics, and she really loved the Huntress and loved all of like the gangster stuff, and she really wanted to do a movie that was not like world ending, but was more like a grounded gangster movie in a lot of ways, and then found Huntress, and of course all of that backstory with Helena.
Yeah. And then I think she would have loved the Jeff Loeb run, like Dark Victory and all that. And
then with Cassandra, Christina Hodson said that one of her favorite films, her and Robbie's, one of their favorite films was Leon the Professional with Natalie Portman. It's a Luc Besson movie. It's a good movie. But
I'll trust you.
It's like little 10-year-old, 12-year-old Natalie Portman, and she's kind of taken in by this like assassin. It's a good movie, and they love that relationship, the mentor and mentee, a very unexpected friendship there. We kind of found ourselves gravitating towards as well. Producer Sue Kroll told comicbook.com that Batgirl is not going to be in Birds of Prey. She says, you'll not see Batgirl. I'm just going to say no. This is a studio thing. Batgirl is in development for her own film. Now, I know we were talking about a few weeks ago. So there was an African-American actress who was cast in a mystery role for Matt Reeves' Batman movie. And there has been speculation that she's going to be Batgirl. And a lot of people were saying, obviously if Jeffrey Wright is going to be Gordon, then Batgirl is going to be black.
And I was kind of joking about how that's just way too familiar in a way.
Now, the funny thing, though, is we don't know where this is going to go. But if Christina Hodson the same person who's writing Birds of Prey, that's in the DCEU, that's in the same universe with J.K. Simmons Gordon. I mean, I don't know, but now our website, we got this covered. We don't take them seriously. Anything that they say, we take with a giant grain of salt.
No, they do not have this covered.
They do not have that covered. Exactly. They've got it covered with bullshit and lies. But one of their sources said that WB has a wish list for who should play Barbara Gordon in this movie. Apparently, Catherine Langford is on the top of that list. She's in that Netflix show 13 Reasons Why. She also played Tony Stark's daughter in Endgame, but a teenage version that we never actually saw. She didn't make the cut. Her scene
but I
didn't
remember the face from the 13 Reasons Why posters.
Mm-hmm.
That her?
Yeah, should be. So if it's that girl, I don't think that they're doing Batgirl in the Matt Reeves universe. And it wouldn't make sense to me if they did the Matt Reeves Batgirl, because I feel like they're not going to do a solo movie branching off from Matt Reeves shit. Like, Matt Reeves is going to be in charge of whatever he's doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a bit of a coin toss if they tried to do one version versus the other. I mean, I don't know, but
I feel like Matt Reeves is like a Nolan situation. Like, he's going to get,
I think they're going to let him do his own thing.
Yeah,
Or
gets
in this case,
total
it's
say
a
over
Todd
his
Phillips
shit.
situation.
Yeah. Well, now.
Yeah, they're going to let him play with his own universe.
Well, Matt Reeves was
develops
in there
into
before
something.
Todd Phillips, though.
I know, but his film came to fruition before, so
It did, but
Here we are now.
but Matt Reeves' deal was there before. Like, Matt Reeves just like, so much
I
so it's
know.
been so many years, and they're just like, well, what do you think, Matt? And he's like, I got shit to do. I'll get to it.
I know, but one came out first, so
But yeah, it's
now that they've seen some evidence that something could or could not work, I
Yeah.
don't know. I think they're gonna maybe let him play in his own sandbox.
it's that Nolan deal for real, though.
Yeah,
We know what it
kinda
is.
in a way.
It's that Nolan deal. So yeah, that if that's a possibility, then or if that's really what they are looking at, I don't think they'll be going Matt Reeves' way. Which, you know, is fine, especially if Gail Simone's involved, which I'm hearing she is. I'm hearing she is in various capacities. But though she has said she's not directly involved in the Birds of Prey stuff, but she has been tangentially involved. So,
Right.
but she knows stuff about Batgirl. She said she knows stuff about Batgirl. Over to the Suicide Squad, James Gunn has said that he is going to be showing footage at the CCXP in 2020. And Matt Reeves says he's going to be showing Batman stuff at the CCXP in Brazil in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, he's also announced that Peter Sarsgaard is going to be in the Batman in a mystery role. We don't know who he's playing yet. A lot of people are saying Harvey Dent, but you'll recall he was the bad guy in Green Lantern.
Sinestro?
No, nope.
Wait, hold on. Let me look it up.
That guy's already found Sinestro has already found a home in the DCEU as Savannah.
Oh, you're right. All right, sorry. Peter Skarsgård.
I can just tell you.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, Hector Hammond.
Yeah, old forgotten Hector.
Mm-hmm.
Old loose end Hector.
And
pretty good.
yeah.
I've liked him when I've seen him.
Yeah. And Production Weekly says that the Batman's working title is Vengeance, which I've always thought it was silly to actually announce what your working title is. Like, I thought the point of the working title was so people didn't, like, barrage you with bullshit while you were trying to film.
Oh, yeah. No, my favorite film group is Working Title Productions. Like, just go fuck yourself Productions, essentially.
Yep. All right, so someone asked Ava DuVernay for an update on New Gods. She says, writing with Tom King is like Barda in a battle, strong and fearing no man.
Nice.
I'm excited about that.
Also, knowing his writing on these things, like, that doesn't mean anything as far as who's going to come out on top. I don't know who the leading character of New Gods could be.
I don't know. I'm assuming Big Barda.
There's a lot of name checking, and we know he came from Mr. Miracle cloth, so shit, man. I mean, I could genuinely do with a lot of his Mr. Miracle run on screen and be very happy.
I don't want that. I want a new Dale. I want a new Tom King, Ava DuVernay, like proper New God's Tale, not necessarily a character study in a
No, I mean,
you know.
I don't necessarily mean tell the same story.
You just want the war?
I just want the beats.
Okay.
Because there were so many. It's the humanity he brought to those characters.
That's fair.
It's the in between spaces that like there was a war in the background and they're just like discussing like, well, I mean, maybe we should make a room for another child. I don't know. And in the in between beats of them discussing like, well, maybe we make a nursery, maybe we just move this wall and the condo and blah blah blah. And they're like in a New God war where every day they might just die, but that's irrelevant. They're just talking about their possible children and like that flippancy, the aloof nature of it. It was so compelling.
Yeah,
because it made sense. It made sense for the New Gods, or especially the minor New Gods. You know.
Yeah,
we're not talking about Zeus or Darkseid, if you want to, or Harry or Ares or whatever. They're talking about like Mercury and like those fuckers that are just sitting there on the periphery, being like, no, this shit's weird. But I'm gonna roll with it. Did he just swan fuck some? Okay, he just did. He just did that. This is gonna be bad. Oh, she's a cow now. Oh, Hera's mad. Hera's really mad. Hera's really mad about this. Is that a gadfly? Oh, that's gonna be a problem. Oh, look, Prometheus.
All right, so Aquaman 2.
It's a whole adventure. Aquaman 2.
Oh, we have Yahya Abdul Mateen say. He says, we have a date of December 2022. Hopefully that will hold. Black Manta will be back. I feel confident in saying that. I'm excited to step into that world again and cause some more trouble.
Sweet. Looking forward to it. Great Shazam. Job before. God damn, he's doing great in Watchmen. So, yeah.
I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
Shazam is...
sorry you were spoiled on that. I
know. Shazam is now on HBO. David Sandberg says, pleasantly surprised to see that Shazam is in its original aspect ratio on HBO. They're not always great with that. So go Shazam on HBO. It's Pony Smasher approved. # black bars actually means more picture.
Nice.
Now, this is a bit of fun. This is, I don't know how serious this is actually, but a fan suggested that Bruce Campbell has enough of a physical resemblance to the Superman from Kingdom Come that it would be fun to see him take on that role. And Campbell responded... I
don't think I've ever thought this before. Too much chin.
I don't know. I was looking at the comparisons and I don't agree. I think he's perfect. But he responded with a picture of how he currently looks, which is a big gray beard, alongside the original, tweet of like aging bearded Superman, from Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
And Bruce Campbell says that he's ready for Geezer Superman.
I mean, I'm into it. I'm into it.
I love that Bruce.
A lot of he's called the Chin in certain circles.
He
has a glorious chin.
He does, but so does Superman.
Not trying to take away from that. It is glorious, but I'm not sure that that's exactly the person I'm thinking of. There's it seems like there's more moderation in the Superman facial features.
I don't know, man.
But doesn't he have that? Am I remembering it wrong? He does have the dimple on the chin.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at a Bruce Timm Superman up here. I'm looking giant chin. Alex Ross, he looks like Bruce Campbell to me.
Does he have the dimple though? Does Bruce Campbell have the dimple?
I mean, he's got dimples.
No, we gotta have the chin dimple.
Campbell doesn't have that, does he?
No, see, Campbell has like a flat chin. Let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna look at Henry Cavill. Just bear with me for I don't know. How many 2 seconds?
How many Supermen that's gonna be on Crisis have the dimple? You are gatekeeping,
right.
Sir.
You're right. Henry Cavill does not have the dimple either. He does have a more defined chin in a way.
You are gatekeeping, sir.
Yes, I am hypothetically gatekeeping with my like hand on the key and happily and ready to give it over with a moment's notice. Yes. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but
I'm the gatekeeper. Are you the key master?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just had this good idea. Here you go. Let me know how it works out. Please make sure it's part of a streaming service that I already pay for.
Plus, one time I turned into a dog and they helped me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Hashtag fuck nipples.
Alrighty. So here's a bit of controversy.
Uh-huh.
So some cat named Danny D. Placido, who is apparently a senior contributor over on Forbes, wrote this just trash take on Superman that claims there's no way to really make him cool or relevant in today's superhero saturation. And he's got arguments about how you can't change too much of the costume because then it isn't his costume. You can't make him too funny because he's not funny. He needs to be bright and colorful, but he's got to be deadly serious. Oh my gosh.
I haven't read it, but if you're representing this accurately, I agree that's a trash take.
That's some bullshit. And the tweet that he posts this article on says that DC Films doesn't know what to do with Superman. The studio reportedly is unsure how to make the character, quote, relevant to modern audiences. Now, a lot of people got upset about that, obviously bringing up Cavill and Snyder. And then this upset people, even though I agree with it. And I don't think this guy, Neil Gaiman, the wonderful, the beautiful Neil Gaiman, was throwing shade. Is that still a saying? I don't think he was throwing shade at Snyder or Cavill. But Neil Gaiman, even if he was throwing shade, you still got to respect it's Neil Gaiman.
It's still Neil Gaiman.
You still need to, stop and go, well, shit, Neil Gaiman could outright David Goyer any day.
Yeah.
I think David Goyer would probably like to put down his pen and bend his bow to Neil Gaiman's will. So
I would think so.
Neil Gaiman points out, he says, you don't make it relevant. You make it inspiring.
That's a fine point.
And, I've seen some people, get mad because of the brevity of it, like, oh, well, that's easy for you to say. No, it is easy for him to say. He's Neil friggin' Gaiman.
He's been relevant several times.
That statement alone is enough to make you stop and really think it. Just think about it. Think about it, what it means. Now, plenty of you, myself included, can say that Zack Snyder did succeed in making Henry Cavill and his Superman relevant, and that's fine. That's why there's so many people out there screaming about the Snyder's cut and all that. But, I think it's whether you agree with what Snyder did or not, Neil's correct. You don't try to make him relevant. You don't want him walking around trying to listen to Spotify or some shit. You're not trying to hit that base. You want to make him an inspiration to people.
It's
don't chase fads, chase the character.
It was a Whedon quote.
No,
don't give the audience what they want, give them what they need.
Uh-huh.
And I know he was paraphrasing, but still it's relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Gaiman's a good example of just his process, as far as I've ever seen, is just go into your own little corner, write the thing you want to do,
mm-hmm.
talk about the people that you would want to relate to, and then if it relates to people, it relates to people.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't, it's trash. But you throw something out there. You're not reactionary. You're not trying to write something in spite of something or react to it. You're just writing. It's like be the change you want to see in the world kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I get it. And it's kind of profound in a way. It's a really good quote.
Yep. Henry Cavill he's been doing press for The Witcher, and he was asked what he would like to explore with Superman if the chance comes along. And he says, where we left off with Man of Steel in particular was the guy who had found his place, or was trying to find his place, but had sort of found it by the end, and that had committed something which he would consider a most horrific sin by killing the last member of his species. That is a place where I would like to travel from with the character, him exploring the positivity of who he is, not necessarily the chocolate box version, but the leaning into that character who becomes an icon of hope and enjoying that experience rather than necessarily being made uncomfortable by it.
Perfect. Please. Yes, and let's.
Yep. J.J. Abrams was asked, and he's been promoting Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, but he was asked about Superman.
He's busy.
Yeah.
He's busy right now.
Abrams says, and this is important, Abrams says, I have not had one official conversation with Warner Brothers at all about this. But people have asked me this question, and I know that Bad Robot, we recently signed a deal with Warner Media. We will begin in earnest all discussions about what's coming next. But I know no more than you do about what's next. Certainly in terms of DC.
Nice.
Henry Cavill's getting a lot of crap, though. Because Fox 5's Kevin McCarthy asked him about the Snyder Cut movement. And Cavill says, I have not seen any Snyder Cut. I don't know if there's anything that exists that is a Snyder Cut. I'm sure there's footage out there which has probably been pieced together over the years. I'm always interested to see how that stuff turns out, but that is very much a chapter of my past. I would rather talk about what is going to happen in the future of Superman, how I can express that character from the comic books, which ties in nicely to Man of Steel. Man of Steel, I really like that movie, and I'd like to be able to tell the story where it was left at that point. And then he was asked if...
apparently he's my spirit animal.
When asked if that could happen, he apparently seemed cagey and said, I can tell you nothing, unfortunately. It would indeed be awesome. So a lot of people have given him crap about that. And Snyder, though, has come out and said, you know, he's put out pictures of Henry Cavill, said to love Henry. Like, Cavill is not speaking because he is not in a position to.
And I have no doubt that Snyder and Cavill's relationship is good.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's none of that. I just also feel like he talks about it in a certain way where I'm like, yeah, no, that seems more realistic to me.
Now, we have Terrio in an interview with Uprocks. Chris Terrio, writer of Justice League, was asked if the Snyder Cut truly exists. Of course, he's doing promotion for Star Wars Rise of Skywalker.
Sure.
So he says, the thing is, I can't really speak to that at this moment, but I promise that I will talk to you about that very thing at some point after Star Wars. After Star Wars. And the interviewer mentioned that they have a lot to talk about in the future. Terrio says, yes, we do. We seriously do. Then in an interview with Polygon, he was, promoting Skywalker. Terrio was asked the status of Zack Snyder's director's cut, and Terrio responded as follows. And this can be taken in a couple of different ways. He says, I have thoughts about the Snyder Cut. I do have them, but I won't talk about it right now. We'll have a date in a couple of months, and we'll talk about it then. Because, that is a really interesting topic that I have not spoken about yet. Now, you can misconstrue that in several different ways, or there's no telling how you can really take that legitimately. Maybe the date in a couple of months is when he can talk about other projects that are not Star Wars. Maybe that date is a thing that he knows about that is an announcement forthcoming about the Snyder Cut.
All of those are possible. Yep.
We have Zack Snyder, who has, because of, Cavill's statements and, a lot of people saying like, aha, we knew it. It doesn't exist. Zack Snyder put out a freaking photo of they are the containers, the film containers that are marked with the labels ZS and JL, followed by director's cut, with the runtime on it, 2:14, the time that we've been told over and over again. The caption says, is it real? Does it exist? Of course it does.
Right. We saw that. And
someone asked about, why he posted it. He says, because I'm tired of people saying it's not real. We had Scott Mendelson, professional troll, Scott Mendelson, who said that on Twitter that this is most certainly an assembly cut, which is always excessively long because that's what an assembly cut is. And
no, don't stupid voice that. That's real.
Except when you're talking about a Snyder movie, which is usually over 3 hours long.
Yeah, but an assembly cut is still longer than the actual cut.
Yeah, but when you're looking at pictures of the cut and it says 2:14. And
I know. I'm just saying that the idea that the assembly cut is longer than the actual cut.
Yeah. That's
not an exaggeration.
It's not, except he's actively trolling here. He is Scott Mendelson has always been the anti-DC guy. He's always been the guy who's taken a shit on DC, and Zack Snyder specifically. And then Zack Snyder actually responded, because Zack Snyder ain't playing no more. Actually responded on Twitter and said the assembly cut was nearly 5 hours long. Like, nope. And this is where it gets weird, like super weird. Subway, the sandwich company, responds, we want all of it too. Hashtag release the Snyder Cut. Schlotsky's says, I'm with Subway on this one. Hashtag release the Snyder Cut. Moe's Southwest Grill responds, we stand in solidarity with Subway. Hashtag release the Snyder Cut. Then we have Ben Affleck.
No, before that. Before you get to Ben Affleck. Because I can totally explain a couple of stars of the people that were in that movie tweeting, yeah, hashtag releases Snyder Cut.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, Subway and a couple of other people is the closest I've ever thought to being like, okay, no, this might be real.
Mm-hmm.
That is the closest I've ever thought to like, nope, critical mass. I might be right. And oh my God, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but that's the closest I've ever been to critical mass.
Mm-hmm.
Several companies getting on board. That's different from a couple celebrities getting on board. It really is. I don't care if it's Gal Gadot and Ben Affleck.
Yeah, that's
it
weird,
is different.
But yeah, I think this is all very, very planned. This is to put pressure on Warner Brothers at the negotiation table. I will bet you anything.
It could be.
Now,
but that's. I mean, as much as I haven't fought the idea. I've just not been able to buy into it. But yeah, as much as I have, this is the closest I've ever been like, no. If companies are willing to literally pitch in, that may be that may be meaning that they're willing to pitch in sponsorship wise, which means actual money.
Mm-hmm. And we had Ben Affleck. He says today is Giving Tuesday, and I'm proud to support Feeding America, an organization helping hungry families across the country. Someone tweeted that at Subway. Hey, how many retweets for 10,000 sandwiches for hungry families during the holiday period? And one tweet with release the Snyder Cut. Subway says, 5,000. Then goes crazy. Subway says, so you're fast, reference to Justice League. And since you did it under 214 minutes, we're going to up the donation to 15,000 subs. And oh yeah, hashtag release the Snyder Cut. And of course, Zack Snyder thanked them for their
this
support.
it revived Chuck on NBC, which required about 3.5 million viewers at the time.
And because of this, though, I expect that shirt to be licensed, because, Zack Snyder's doing Army of the Dead over on Netflix. I expect a Subway Eat Flesh shirt legitimized in conjunction with this release.
Oh, that's good.
Or sorry, Zombies Eat Flesh, but in the Subway font. Whatever it was.
That's good. The branding can flesh this out for you.
All right, so we've also got Clay Staub, who is a regular Zack Snyder collaborator. He was the Ariel's second assistant director on the Justice League shoot. Posted a picture of Bruce on the on the mighty steed looking for Aquaman. Said release the Snyder Cut. We've just got a lot of people who are just really invested in this, and I'm apparently one of them. Some months back I wasn't, and the closer it seemed to actually happening, the more I think I'm just dyed in the wool.
No, I would genuinely love to see it. I just honestly, until there were companies just pitching in, and they still could just be, honestly, those could just be ploys. Yeah, just cashing in on the hashtag, and it would cost them nothing. The same way I was saying that, like, when Ben and Gal were doing it before, it cost them nothing, and it's goodwill, and that's great. Mm-hmm. The only reason I'm at all faulting on my prediction might be that, like, if they have the backing of enough businesses, and now that they have HBO Max as a possible forum, maybe, and enough people saying, it's only a couple months, that could still just be people talking out of turn for a subject that's worth way too many clicks if you just say something in its favor. I mean, it could still just be falderall. But a couple of companies getting involved is the closest I've gotten to really feeling like it might be a thing. Yeah.
Well, look, you got the Google Analytics for this thing are crazy. And Stephen Colbert recently talked about that on a podcast. I think it was the Dave the Film Junkies podcast on his vodka stream. And nice. Warner Brothers knows, man. They know that the analytics for this thing are off the charts. And if everything we've heard about the Snyder Cut is true, they've pretty much got they've got a whole separate blockbuster just sitting on a shelf somewhere. It's just
I don't think we're talking about a blockbuster here.
Finish that. It was made to be.
We are not talking about a blockbuster here. That's
the
limiting factor that a lot of people are misrepresenting.
It would be
I think a lot of people that are hashtag release the Snyder Cut are thinking like, you're just going to release this thing and it's going to blow the whole thing open. No. It's a niche movie.
It is a niche movie, but also it would be a blockbuster in terms of launching a streaming service for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a huge boon for that. Like, since HBO Max released that trailer where they released the Justice League in general, I was like, well, no, it's actually a good platform for them to do this. Yeah, that makes the most sense of anything.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that maybe they're trying to hype up to that. But it's not getting beyond that. Like, your best case scenario, you're not getting this in theaters. Limited availability at best. And that's a pipe dream.
I mean, I don't think it'll get like wide release, but
no, we're not getting this in Birmingham.
I mean, what do we get in Birmingham?
No, nothing. Fucking nothing.
We actually do better than Montgomery. I'm from Montgomery, and Montgomery gets jack shit.
Yeah. Like, well, we have the biggest population in Alabama, so yeah, if you're gonna come to Alabama, you might as well go to Birmingham.
Yeah, yeah. That's all I got on Snyder Cut for now.
All right. There's some hope there, but I'm still super dubious.
I'm not.
I know.
It's gonna happen, man. You gotta send the good vibes out, man. It's like Ghostbusters 2. I'm gonna be on this Ghostbusters shit all night.
Vibes don't mean goddamn shit.
Nah, man. You gotta higher and higher.
There's thoughts and prayers. Fuck it.
Tell that to Bill Murray. That man wrote the Statue of Liberty on hopes and prayers.
Yeah.
And goodwill. All right. We're going to go to break. And when we come back, we're talking about Stargirl and a bunch of other DC TV related stuff. But not Crisis spoilers from the episodes that have aired. Not those.
The one that aired last night and the one that just aired that we haven't gotten to see? Or that I haven't gotten to see? You've gotten to see?
I got to see the first part.
Fuck you. God, I'm legit mad. Quick side story. Before we take the break, I guess.
All right.
I went to like this classy function last night at a museum of art. And I'm a little bit out of my element. It's the wife's work function on this. And sure enough, I found 2 different people where I was like, hey, are you kind of sad you're not? And people finished the sentence like, no, I'm recording it right now. Because it just was happening at the same time. And I was kind of feeling people out. I was like, so what do you think about? And we got to the point where it was like, yeah, I kind of wish I was watching them. I was like, no, I'm recording it right now. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I found my people.
People like plan shit like that around football games. I think they should, in the next 20 years, they'll start definitely planning stuff around superhero events.
I think if it was ever going to happen, it would have happened around this one.
Oh, no. See, we're not there yet. We've still got, and to be fair, your wife is kind of one of those types of people who are just like, are we really doing this about superhero? Yes, we are.
No, I mean, she respects.
I think the general audience, the normals are not quite there yet.
She respects the scope of it as far as the way I always present it is like storytelling wise. It was like these are the modern Greek and Roman myths. Like this is modern mythology. Like we're dealing with an entirely different form of storytelling, and the possibilities are fucking endless, and we're just getting to explore that now. Like the old school, the 1940s and even 20s really opened the door, and a lot of people it's been 100 years, but they're starting to really respect, like, no, seriously, this is something I care about. And it's not a nerd thing anymore to care about that.
I think it is still to some degree, but I think the general audience, there's still a big part of them who are just like, no, that's not a real thing that we're going to consider.
I mean, I think it's also not becoming as weird to really invest in something that's like the way I would describe Crisis right now to someone who I haven't seen a moment of it. I would still tell someone that, like, the way I've seen it, Crisis is the television experiences of our lifetime at this point.
Yeah, and you told your wife that, and she was like, "Oh no, there's elections and stuff," and you're like, "No."
Elections may or may not fucking affect anything. This is real.
This is Brandon Routh playing the Atom and Superman. You don't understand.
This affects things in a different kind of way. And it's also kind of true. Like, you realize back in the radio serial days of Superman, like, he literally helped decline the rate of attrition to clan membership. And it was because there was somebody who actually, like, he was an investigative reporter, and he got into the clan, and he was able to get in and get the codes. And he also had a friend who was a producer of the Superman serials, and they teamed up, and he was able to, like, the kids who were listening to the Superman serials would, like, play Superman. Mm-hmm. So when later those same parents came home and their kids were playing Superman, but they were also playing Superman in a way that, like, it was like not cops and robbers, but it was Superman and villain of the week. And that villain of the week was a clan member who was, like, wearing a pillowcase over his head and running around with a fucking, and he was running around giving, like, a, you know, this super handshake, some fake looking handshake. But that was also, like, they were giving out real codes, like the actual the actual codes, the actual handshakes that the clan were giving out. They infantilized the fucking clan using Superman as a character to do so. Superman fucking took down the clan. Yep. Fictional or not, they used that brand to take down membership of the clan. It declined several percentages. It was like 30 to 70% down. I mean, it was genuine markup, because, like, it was hard to go and be super bigoted about, like, we're the great race and blah blah blah, and then go home and see your kids giving out this handshake that you'd invested so much in. Like, it broke you as someone who was invested so much in this narrative of we're the great race. So you got home and your kids were the fucking villains running around in fucking pillowcases. Yeah. It was stupid.
It's got to be a nightmare for a KKK guy to come home and find their kids pretending to be a heroic illegal immigrant beating the crap out of Ku Klux Klan members.
I know. Yeah, I know. But to my point, these stories matter. They matter because they're in a lot of ways, they're the zenith of what we're capable of as humans. And we're in a way, we're way past the great bards storytelling of the complications of human inclinations. You know, we're past Shakespeare, we're past the Greek gods, and the more, like, clumsy storytelling kind of form of it. We're past even, like, having to declare Dionysus as the god of Greek storytelling in a way so we could even get on a fucking stage to tell a story. We're past all that. We're past the idea that you could tell a story from two perspectives instead of a monologue. We're past all of that into some version where now we have the gods among us, and we fucking just tell their stories, and they walk among us in those fucking stories. Mm-hmm. It is an incredible new era of fiction. This matters. This is a big deal to me.
Until you get on Twitter.
And then fuck Twitter if they don't agree.
And then people are like, I don't think that God would wear that cape.
Maybe not.
Hashtag not my God.
Go forth. Do your thing.
Which it makes sense. You know, people on Twitter argue about what? Religion, politics,
every
and superheroes
thing.
Which are some strange amalgamation of the two.
Twitter's this bizarre pocket where in a few words you can, if it was down to binary, you could argue 1, 0, and the two would argue indefinitely 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. Mm-hmm. It's rough on there. It just is. I mean, it's because you don't have to actually extrapolate your point. You remember, like, when we were growing up, and when every generation, including the same generation, so I'm not doing the, like, kids these days thing. Mm-hmm. When we were growing up, as every fucking generation for the last few hundred years has grown up, you wrote a 5-paragraph essay. Mm-hmm. Topic, sentence, topic, 3 points, conclusion. Mm-hmm. You still have to do that. Like, that's still how you get through classes. right now. You don't have to do that in 280 characters.
Right.
You can just express some fucking bullshit expulsion, like some vomit of your fucking mind on, on Twitter and just say a thing. You don't have to back it up. I mean, and even then you can let the internet kind of worry this out for you and kind of like pull in, you can pull in a left hook here and there, like, oh yeah, that guy agreed with what I said and like his tweet or whatever. And
I have literally seen an argument. Someone used this as an argument. Well, you only have 8 likes.
That's so, I can't even with that.
Like, get out of here with your 8 likes. Like
Intrinsic and extrinsic value at that point, if you don't understand those things, I don't know how to argue with you. I don't know how to talk to you.
Yeah.
I mean, was your argument valid? Were your points valid? Was your stance on human nature valid? These matter. I want them to matter. I want to live in a world where they matter.
I feel like...
And Twitter doesn't necessarily exclude that. You can still find nice things on it.
You can.
But it does also open itself. It opens itself to like the idea that you can just pipe in and just have a hot take of 100 characters and just be on your way. And other people that just pipe in and don't want to explore a topic can just come in and be like, yeah, good job, retweet. It does, because of its brevity, it has that flaw.
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot of uses. It
Mark
really
Twain.
Also because of its brevity, you can relate to a lot of people who also just be like, oh yeah, that's what's on my soul too. I appreciate you saying that sentiment. But
Mark Twain said brevity is the soul of wit, and I really wish I could like go back in time and just pull him forward and be like, hey, check out Twitter. Oh damn, yeah.
In a way, I think he would have owned Twitter.
He would have destroyed on Twitter. He would have destroyed on Twitter, man.
But I think he would have been a force for good, you know?
Yeah.
Where he was like, he would use 120 characters of the 140 or 144 you originally given, and just knocked it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nope. I know you got thousands of tweets about this subject, but in like 7 words, I'm just going to sum this up for you and deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
He was really good at that.
Oh, yeah. All right, I think we should go to break, man.
Yeah, probably.
And break. And we are back. Yay. All right, we're going to talk about these Stargirl teasers up front.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so DC Universe put out this trailer, this teaser trailer, and apparently I'm hearing, and I don't know for sure, but I'm hearing that it was like not that the first teaser trailer was not given the go ahead, and it just kind of they put it out and then the internet blew up and said how awful it was and shitty it was, and it looks like shitty green screen with the kid standing in front of the locker, and how it's, not for any of us DC Universe fans, and Jeff Johns is a piece of shit, and we love Zack Snyder, etc. And they took it down, and then they put up a shortened one that was just minus that green screen segment.
Having watched both of these, my whole take was roughly, I don't think I've seen anything. I mean,
right?
I just felt cheated by the idea that it was even a teaser.
Right? I mean,
nothing happened.
Like, now I liked the line where she says, the staff chose me and I chose all of you. That was solid.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. And I didn't feel like the shot of them standing on the green screen against the cartoon lockers or whatever that was, I didn't feel like that was an actual thing from the show by any stretch. Like, I didn't feel like oh, the whole show is going to look like this.
It honestly felt like a teaser that was pulled away just to do that.
I feel like the show is going to look like the thing at the end, which looked fantastic with her with the staff glowing.
Yeah, that looked fun.
So, I don't know. I don't get my panties in a twist. Well, you know, I don't mean to be diminutive in a sexist way when I say panties. It could be underwear, whatever. I don't know what's okay to say
I would like
anymore.
to think you meant for you wouldn't be used to it, and that being twisted on top of you not just being used to it because you don't normally wear those would be uncomfortable, and that's not what you were going for there.
Whatever, man. You know, I grew up in a house full of women. They all say panties in a twist. That's what I say.
I know, it's just a phrase we're used to.
I don't mean it. I don't mean anything by it. Please don't hate me.
I get it.
No, I don't understand. Like, I just don't understand the hate, man. It looks fine. It looks fun.
I haven't been. I mean, I've genuinely avoided the internet because I can't see Crisis right now. But so I didn't get any of the hate, but I sure do not understand it when you're telling me it's out there.
Yeah, it's just, you know.
And I've been on genuine blackout. I mean, I literally deleted the icons off my phone.
Just rabid, like foaming at the mouth fanboys, just freaking out. I don't understand.
Yeah, there's no call for that.
I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
And also, not everything has to be for you.
It's also 7 fucking seconds.
It's like, yeah, it's 7 seconds.
It's nothing.
It is 7 seconds. Things can be not for you, though. Things can be not for me. You know what isn't for me? Like the first 3 seasons of Lucifer.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've even had people that I very much like Brent from Fans Without Borders, who says, if you don't like a thing, why do you continue to watch it? And I say, because of Lucifer season 4. You never know
I
when it's
can't
going
think
to
of
become
any
a
examples
thing.
at the moment. Actually, Burn Notice is a good example for me of a show that like was always just entertaining enough, but gave me just what I needed to tune in and do the next one.
Burn Notice is fun. I enjoyed Burn Notice. I haven't watched every episode or anything, but you know,
I watched it in succession live. I watched the entire series as it happened.
If you're sitting and drawing, or you know,
I watched the pilot like 4 times because I got that screened anyway. I got that through some methods and watched it like 4 times before it fucking aired, and I was super excited about it.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you do that. You had like a whole, before we, you know, lost all of our time to capes.
Sure.
You had like several TV shows that you would just like play continuously.
Oh yeah, I miss those days in some ways.
And
I really do. Like
specifically bad shows for certain instances. Like we were just like running Sci-Fi's Misfits and
oh no,
Grimm and shit like that. Where you're just like,
the British Misfits was fantastic.
mm-hmm.
Wait, was that one of those where they did a British and a Sci-Fi?
The one I was aware of was definitely British, and
was that Being Human?
I was thinking about. Well, I'm thinking about Misfits, but you're thinking about Being Human.
Okay.
The U.S. TV Being Human was awful.
Yes, it's terrible. Yes,
but you would have that shit on. You'd have Grimm on, and I'm just like, what are you doing?
I know. Yeah, that was an excuse for me to just jump in my hands. Like I would, play guitar, or draw, or something. And that was the whole point.
That was my version of the thing you did with my music. Like you would be watching some awful TV show in the background, and I would like walk into your room and be like, "What is this dialogue I'm hearing? This is awful. What are you watching?" And then anytime I would play music, you would come in and be like, "What the hell is this? It's Survivor."
Yeah, it's fair. Totally fair.
All right, so
all right,
we're gonna try to be as non spoilery as we can be for Crisis here.
Please do.
Kevin Conroy.
Not seen a damn second.
Kevin Conroy says that he hopes to be a part of the Arrowverse after Crisis.
Yes, please.
He says, wouldn't that be awesome? That would be so awesome. I was thinking that as I was doing this, that I'm kind of inhabiting old Bruce Wayne from Batman Beyond. He's not that old. Bruce Wayne in Batman Beyond is like 80. He's not that old in this, but he is as limited in his ability to be physical in this. He's not fully able-bodied. In that sense, he's like old Bruce Wayne in Batman Beyond. And I was using the voice, actually, from old Bruce Wayne from Batman Beyond. Kevin, buddy, I love you, but that voice started being the same, like, 20 years ago. Like, his old Bruce
Yeah.
Wayne voice is the same as his just normal Batman voice.
I don't know if he can do the high pitch kind of those like old Kennedy kind of notes
Yeah.
on the uptick.
Yeah, go back
I
and
don't
watch
know
some
if
of
he can
like
do that.
Yeah, go back and listen to like old Batman the animated series when he's just like, "Hi, Commissioner," and then
Yeah.
now it's just like all of it's just Batman. Like that's all he's got. He's done Batman for so long. He's
his still
voice,
using the same notes in a way. Like,
Yeah.
like he goes up and instead of like the "Hi, Commissioner" kind of thing, like God, my voice seemed cracked. I can't do that.
Yeah,
But
that
instead
wasn't
of just
right.
going way high and staying true to a note, it's kind of the like "Hi, Commissioner." Like it's still just playing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, possibly true.
All right, so we're
But I would like to see him going forward. That'd be a lot of fun.
absolutely, yeah. And in that teaser or in that trailer or whatever we got, we see him coming down the stairs in his exoskeleton,
Yeah.
and Kate goes, "Bruce," and he goes, "Kate." So we know that he looks like that in her universe in Earth 1.
Yeah, has that visage at least. Yeah.
Yes, please.
The exoskeleton also is something that I think Dr. Steve from Wood Madison would be in approval of. Just the idea that he needs that.
Yeah.
So when we talked to him, his prediction was like, "Oh, he'd last like 6 days and he'd be dead."
I want to show that footage to Christopher Nolan and be like, "Now see, that's how you do it."
Yeah. It's not a thigh slap bracelet that fixes 8 years of deceleration.
And for Brent, it's not a leg belt.
Yeah.
All right. Mark Guggenheim was asked if they had any more big announcements coming before Sunday, and he says, "Huge one coming," and then it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And someone asked, "Could you tell us anything about the huge announcement, Mark?" And he says, "Yeah, I can tell you that it's now looking like January. Sorry, not my call. The powers that be would have probably preferred I hadn't teased it, but I thought we'd be announcing it today." So if you guys only caught part of that, that's what that was about. And or don't worry, you didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm inclined to believe him on this one.
someone like...
Although I've famously called him a liar a few times.
Yeah. Well, not famously.
times.
We're not that popular. But
I have
we...
for sure called him a liar several times.
Yeah, that's true. Through conversation on Twitter, it was revealed that Guggenheim has reached out to Nick Cage. He says we reached out to a lot of people, and there were people who didn't want to do it. There were people who would only do it for amounts of money that we could never afford. And there were other people who really wanted to do it, but couldn't for scheduling. That was the case with a lot of it, I have to say. The movie stars that we reached out to, the thing about movie stars, they're all shooting movies. And unless these movies are shooting in Vancouver, we're kind of out of luck. But I have to say that the sheer number of actors that we did end up getting exceeded my expectation. Now, he didn't say that he did or didn't get Nick Cage.
Yeah.
To come back
He
as
kinda
Superman.
danced around it. That would be huge.
Wouldn't it?
That'd be so much fun.
Wouldn't it? I'd be down.
I mean, complete nonsense. I mean, they could wipe it away immediately, and it would still be so much fun to have seen.
Yeah, I mean, they got him to play Superman in the Teen Titans Go movie, for God's sake.
Oh, it's true. It's also I think Cage is one of those people who really invests in wanting to be a person. Like he enjoys his roles,
Yeah.
and he, from watching that documentary, he really seemed to want to do this. It
Oh,
just
yeah,
never
absolutely.
happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who wouldn't want to fucking do it?
Mm-hmm. Now, Mark Guggenheim was talking to IndieWire, and he was asked, are there any actors that will appear in the crossover that haven't been made public? He says the short answer is yes. The longer answer, they're working on even more that won't be shot until later in the year. He says,
I like to be right.
He says, I like how there are at least 6 characters who appear in the first 3 hours that we haven't announced. And I'm working on even more for the last 2 hours. So we've obviously announced a bunch, but I really want the audience to be able to tune in and still be surprised. So there are surprises of sorts that we've managed to keep secret, and not without great difficulty, I will tell you.
Again, I've called Googs a liar several times. I was so wanting him to be telling the truth right now.
Mm-hmm. Now,
I want that to be true.
this is also exciting. and you're going to need to write it down.
Okay.
There is a Crisis on Infinite Earths 100-page tie-in comic written by Marv Wolfman and Mark Guggenheim
Oh, sweet.
that will be appearing on Walmart shelves. There are 2 different ones, Giant number 1, 100-page Giant number 1, and 100-page Giant number 2. And they're going to be available at Walmart first and then in the direct market.
Mm-hmm.
And they are going to feature Felicity, Earth One. Felicity and it was Nyssa Al Ghul, the Ray from Earth X, Wally West, all working with the Monitor. And we do get to see that famous bit from the original comics where Pariah is forced to look at all the different universes being destroyed, except in this version, it looks like the New 52 universe, and then he also sees the old 40s Fleischer Superman universe get destroyed. They've put out previews for it. It looks pretty great. So you've got the original writer of Crisis writing with Mark Guggenheim, which he also co-wrote the Arrow episode of Crisis on Infinite Earths, by the way. But it's exciting, and they're filling in gaps between the first and second hour of the event, and it looks pretty great. Honestly, we got Nyssa, the Ray, Wally West, Felicity Smoke. We know where they are during the crisis and what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot of fun. I
like it filling in the gaps instead of being just like a thing I was supposed to read that might or might not matter in a way.
Yeah. But they said it is in lockstep with the you don't need it, but it is in lockstep with the Crisis show. So you can.
I will probably pick that up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing against the comics. I've never read them. They may be great, but some of the stuff that's not truly connected, I've never actually branched out and picked that up.
Yeah, but they're gonna do.
They may be phenomenal. I really don't know.
I think 20 pages of the main story, and then they're gonna have like little side stories, kind of fleshing other things out.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Just add some breadth to the whole thing.
Yeah, and I'm excited about it. I was excited about it last night. Like, I read about it, I jumped up and went and told my wife, and she was like, "Oh, cool."
Oh, cool. Can I go back to sleep?
Actually, yeah, she was asleep, I think.
There's gonna be a thing. Yeah, I'm going to bed.
And she's excited about this stuff, so it's
yeah.
But let's see. I did have it marked. I don't know why I don't have it anywhere where I can see it now. I think it's December 15th that it comes out at Walmart.
Okay. It's the Walmart part I kind of resent.
I mean, it'll be in direct market later, but
yeah, if it's lockstep, I'd like to have it, but I don't know. It probably easier to get that than the 100-page things that came out that were genuinely hard to find.
Well, some of them are genuinely hard to find. Most of them were not. Most of them you can just show up and they're like, oh, there's like a million of them that no one bought.
Yeah. You can see that on a small scale on any comic book shelf, but
yeah, December 15th. Yeah. So
I'm sure I'll wander near Walmart and I'll probably go in and grab it.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I go to Walmart every third day of the week.
They're damn convenient in this area.
Mm-hmm. All right. No. And, Guggenheim had a lot to say about Marv and his writing, but apparently he writes an incredible John Cryer Lex Luthor.
Oh, I could see that.
And it looks like he's going to be doing like Council of Lex Luthors or something. Like, I'm just excited, man. I'm excited.
That could be really good.
All right, Harley Quinn. This is just a bit of fun. Apparently, Kaylee Cuoco and Lake Bell, Harley and Poison Ivy, can't record together. They said, we don't record together. They told Entertainment Tonight, they said there's often a fight about who gets more F words. Cuoco said, did Lake take the last F again? Justin Halpern and Patrick Shoemaker said, we were actually approached by Warner Brothers in 2016 or so, got a phone call from the head of script and development there, and she said to us, how do you guys feel about developing an R-rated Harley Quinn show? We immediately said, yes, of course, as anyone would. It was sane. And then, I think that maybe they didn't quite expect the level of R rating. Maybe we were into the NC-17 territory with the violence and the objectionable language. They saw the first episode and they were like, wow, that's a lot of Fs in one episode. And,
it's unapologetic about that. Yeah.
And he said by like episode 2, we had 21 in there. 21 F-bombs in it. And that's basically an F a minute. And they were like, no, you got to put a cap on it. So we actually got like a number from them. I don't know if it was completely arbitrary or not, but the show still works with only like 8 now.
It's kind of telling in a way that they still are self-referencing or self-refereeing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no ad service that's telling them this is like, no, there's no like censorship guy that comes in and says, oh no, I need to, see your 5-minute bit on the end of Conan before you perform it. None of that. Standards and practices. That's the term.
Yeah. I think they're just looking at it and going, yeah.
Yeah,
you're actively
a lot of fucks.
Like, you guys are actively just making a poorer show because these characters aren't saying anything but that.
No, I mean, I don't know. Usually the people who are counting F words, as they'll call them, are not the same people who have like
man. Not necessarily. See, like, it's just like Larry David on Curb. He counts.
Yeah.
He counts.
Oh, no. There are people that do both, for sure. But there are also people that are departmentalized for certain reasons. Yeah,
there is that. But, Larry David feels like it will, like, if you just go too crazy, then it's like,
it's deleterious.
It loses its punch. It's not as
Point
funny.
Of diminishing returns.
Yeah, and, it's just, you're just losing the clever. You just keep thinking you're going to get the laugh with the F-bomb, and no, you need to say something funny for real.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And if they're actually fighting over how many F words they get, but yeah, they probably just needed to they were probably ad-libbing too much and throwing too much in, and they're just like, yeah, no, we don't need to do that.
I mean, that could be true based on the backstory. But I also think if the I don't know, if the underbrush, if the forest bed of your story is we just don't care about how many fucks are in it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm not necessarily counting. I just know these are just people who are kind of tall like me in normal conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Use fuck as a comma. I mean, if that's just where you're coming from and it doesn't mean anything for the story, and that's just the plain white fucking milquetoast background of that character, whatever.
Yeah.
Then I don't think counting matters.
Right.
And it's also just not like picking that. I don't know. You're not reaching for it. That's just the background. Who cares?
Yeah, like I think I would have that same reaction where I'm just like, okay, it's enough of that. Just same like if I said, okay, we can do whatever we want, and then my minions went off and started making a show, and then literally every minute of it was a poop joke. I'd have to go in and be like, okay,
we're leaning on this pretty hard.
We've gotta
let's pull back.
I'm so glad you're happy with a shit joke a minute, but we've gotta pull back the other way.
Some piss jokes, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, I get it.
Can we stop using farts as a comma?
A lot of things, if they lean too hard one way or the other, it's not clever anymore.
Mm-hmm. I haven't gotten to the second episode of Harley yet. I'm enjoying it so far, though.
I was able to watch the first 5 minutes and enjoyed it, but I got more of the faux Bane Dark Knight Rises. It was really a lot of fun. It's got a tone to him I'm really enjoying.
Yeah, I think I may have pushed in that direction more, just actually made him a Peanuts adult. No one understands what you're saying with that mask.
Yeah.
I want to see.
Sorry, can you? I was born in the light.
I want to see Bane with an intern.
Yeah.
And Bane is doing the Peanuts adult. No, everyone has trouble hearing him, and the intern understands him perfectly. He says he will break you. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's everything I've got, man.
I like that, or the idea of him just being completely sounding like an AM radio that's slightly mistuned the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a lot of fussing and suspense over the scene, somebody finally rips his mask off and starts to talk to him, and he sounds worse.
He sounds like a Burger King speaker box.
Yes, exactly. Like one where clearly the employees know the box is messed up. They're just not going to acknowledge that because it has been a long fucking day and no one's going to have to fix that fucking box.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just going to be like, I'm sorry, what'd you say? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, I can't hear you. You know what? Just pull up, sir. Just okay.
Yep.
I don't feel like this is going well. Let's just have a face-to-face. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Well, you want to call it?
Yeah, Scott.
All right. Well, thank you, whatever your name is, for listening to DC on Screen. Remember, we're trying to get to that 100 ratings. We've been around for almost 5 years. Come on, we got to get this done.
We have to at least name ourselves.
We should at least
After all this time.
Wait, we got to name our fans and get 100 ratings. That's what we've got to do because we're about to hit in May. We hit the 5-year mark.
New goals.
Oh my gosh, we just dragging our asses on everything, man.
Yeah.
Dragging
our asses watching 72 hours of fucking DC on screen today.
Yep. All right, until next time.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah. What do you think next time will be? Our review of Crisis, the first half of Crisis?
It's got to be. I mean, that's what we're going to want to talk about anyway.
Yeah, I would assume. I want to talk about it now. I can't.
Not now.
All right.
Oh, God, I don't know.
All right. Well, until next time, keep that DC on your screen. Our intro music is by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Galactic Engineers of Magnetic Sounds, or GEMS, can be found on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. Visit DCOnScreen.com to find our Patreon, merch, contact information, and every episode of the show for free, including crossovers we've done with other podcasts. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. For more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, vlogs, parodies, and our improvised web series Hey Guy, visit maladjusted.tv.